Our elders are knowledge carriers. They carry all the knowledge, the education from their forefathers, from their ancestors. So they're very wise. And when we lose an elder, we're losing a lot of history. We're losing a whole library, of what was ours. And I resonate, and it really touches me a lot because they had to endure a lot for us to survive. And now when you go through the residential school or mention that, you don't hear of graduates of residential school. You hear of survivors. Like those are the only schools in North America that have that label of survival. So we went through a lot, and it has played such an incredible rippling effect, where that it's affecting me, my children, and their children that aren't even born yet. I'm already teaching them, talking to them how resilient we are and how much we endured and what they have to prepare for to carry our ancestors' wisdom forward and the teachings that we have, and also that the elders that we do have left, it's so vital and so important, I think, to capture their stories. They are waiting to be approached and asked for their wisdom, their knowledge. They're so needed. And our youth need them, but I don't think they know it. They're suffering. Our youth are suffering. We're losing a lot of youth to the opioid epidemic. An elder who actually presented me with this eagle feather, and that elder said to me, well, actually, the real question is, it's not what's wrong with us, it's what happened to us. That's the question. Like, what happened? So those young fellas, those young youth need to know what happened to us, because they're feeling our ripple effect of trauma. We're all affected, whether or not our parents didn't go or did go. We were all still part, in some way, shape, or form, affected, very similar. Like my mom went to day school or whatever, and she only went to grade 1, and her mother removed her from school because she was being hit because she couldn't speak English at all, and so she was taken out of school, and she never really learned to read or write, but she was very resilient in raising her family and being an advocate and being, I don't know what label to give it, but kind of like a social worker, because she was there helping my cousin who did an interview here, a 60 Scoop. She was there for him. She was there trying to advocate and help his mom to get those children back, not only them, but other families as well. His aunts and uncles, there was a lot of turmoil for many families back then. They lost their children due to whatever circumstances, and their children were removed. And so I remember watching my mom being that helper. She was well known for that helper in the community. And mind you, she couldn't read or write, but she played an important role. And a lot of people went to her for that help. So a lot of wisdom and courage. My first memory, my earlier memories that I recall of this journey of my life lessons, I recall back when I was just young, maybe 6 or 7 or so. And I remember in community, there was a lot of addiction happening. and a lot of it, there was a lot of drinking and stuff like that, and a lot of parties and late nights, and it was kind of rampant. It was more so than it is now, anyway. That for sure. It was everybody and their neighbor was drinking back at those times. I recall there was 10 hotels, bars that were fully packed all the time. Town was booming. That was the thing. Anyways, so I remember that memory from so when I was young and I seen this going on around me right away, I made a promise to myself that I didn't like it, and I don't want my children to ever see this in their whole life. If I ever had children, I said to myself when I was about 6 or 7, because it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't. There was so much dysfunction and turmoil and loss. Our people were just lost in addiction and pain and hurt, and I don't even think they really knew why. And usually it's to numb the pain and the hurt. And they probably don't even realize they were feeling the ripple effects of their ceremony, their language, their loss, their shame. Like my mom had to raise us, didn't have to, but she said, I'll never teach them Ojibwe. So that's a big loss there. Pride. They were called names. They were beat up in town. It was very... they had to survive because there was a lot, the prejudice and injustice, and it wasn't on their side. They were really, they really suffered a lot, and with that comes disgrace, comes shame, and who wants to be that? Who wants to take pride in that? Like, nothing was being brought up about our past traumas for residential school, 60 school, all that stuff. But yet we lived it. I saw my mom. I saw the CAS taking kids away, all that stuff. It's been in our life. And then all of a sudden, my 5 cousins are gone that I played with every day. They're gone forever. I didn't see them again till they were like 40, And here I am, a little child on the reserve. All my friends are gone. Yeah, and I didn't even grieve that part yet, but has an effect on me. I didn't even know it. When I was reflecting on reconciliation as well, I was thinking that comes with healing and understanding, and it's got to start somewhere, because all of a sudden we were flooded with information through social media, flooded with the residential school, flooded with information on the 60 Scoop, that CAS, everything you can think of, day school. It just bombarded everybody, including the Shognosh, my friends, our friends and allies. I was getting calls, or I was getting comments. Oh my God, did that really happen? They were in disbelief. Everyone was in disbelief, and our own people were like, we're in shock. It's almost like you have to go through the grieving process for this, for reconciliation as well, to come to terms with it. Because first of all, you're presented with truth. People are in denial. People don't want to believe. People are hurting because they're, oh my God, this can't be, on either side of the abusers or whatever, right? And their families, they all have families, and we all have our families. So it kind of comes with, for me, it connects with the cycle of grief, the grief journey, denial, as you move forward, anger. So it comes in all those stages. Now with our communities, what I kind of noticed was that all this information was flooding over with us, and then you had these 1-800 hotlines for the survivors of the schools and 60 Scoop and stuff, but you didn't really have anything much in community. I'm always bringing up how important it is to have our own teaching lodge, because we need to learn. I didn't learn this stuff. I didn't learn my culture or teachings. Much of it, the ceremonial part, I did not learn growing up, but I'm learning now, and I will never know it all. So I'm still learning, and so to I think to begin with that, it also comes with our elders, our leadership, people who can restore that balance and bring what we lost back to a community, back to our people, back to our youth who are feeling lost. You know, the other day I asked an elder about reconciliation and what it would mean to her. And she's an Ojibwe speaker, and she said, I don't know what that word means. So that's another important piece of information where our elders don't know what certain words mean because they have their own language. And in that language, that's their livelihood, their power, their everything. And everything they have is so descriptive, and it's not comparable to Jognosh language. They don't really understand a lot of the words, so, and that's where it comes, where I've been sitting in on the Robinson Huron information session where our people didn't understand their terminology, some of it, so they would get, it would be deceiving, I guess. Both my parents are fluent Ojibwe speakers, and I can't. For the life, I can't speak Ojibwe. Now that is so wrong in every way. I've had to grieve that, and I still struggle with that part. I heard some discussion on it, and it really resonated for me. It was feeling a strange kind of loneliness. We don't know what we're lonely for or what we're missing, but really, it's actually the heartbeat, the foundation of who we are as Anishinaabe, and that's the language. We really miss that, and some people don't even know that. Our youth don't know that. We really miss our language, our identity, our culture. And with that can bring on unknowingly depression in the anxieties, whatever's surfacing in especially with technology, it just changes the whole everything of who we were and who we are as grassroots land teachings. They don't realize, I don't think, that, but they're missing that heartbeat, that culture and teachings, and I speak up for that quite a bit to our people, to whoever I think should hear this, and it's to bring back a teaching lodge, a culture lodge. And I just a couple nights before we had a meeting, and I kind of brought it up again, and I didn't realize that they were putting up the lodge at our community. And then, oh my goodness, I keep asking for this lodge, and look, poof, here it is, right here. And we all had a good chuckle about it, but seriously, it was. I started asking questions like, can this stay? Like, can this stay with us, this lodge? Can we keep it up so that I would love to go in there and learn more of my culture and teachings and bring whoever I can. I learned to support my peers or my youth, my children, is that the way I learned it is that I wanted it. It was in my heart. Like I wanted it so bad that I just followed and listened and try to find direction. Okay, where are you going to go? Where's the sweat happening? How do you get in there? What do you have to do? What do you bring? I hungered for that, so I took it upon. It was something that I put out there in thought and to the universe and to Creator, and it put tobacco down. I started learning to put tobacco down, and then that's how I started to pick up teachings. I just took the initiative on my own and reached out to to the elders that I knew would help me do that. So with our youth today, a lot of people know I'm a helper. I'm there for youth. Sometimes some of those youth will private message me, and sometimes it's actually further addiction, but wanting money or whatever. And I'll say, I'll cook them an egg sandwich. I'll bring them food, and then I'll chat with them like that. So I'm there supportive in that way, or I give them referral information, for example, to go to the health center for if they wish to enter treatment, stuff like that. So I met a lady yesterday, and I don't even know who she is, but she told me she's from my First Nation. She's coming back. I think she was adopted out, and she asked me, what's your name? And I said, Elaine Commanda. And she says, oh my God, you're Elaine Commanda? I go, yes. I've heard so much about you. I said, oh, you have? She goes, you're a really good person. And I said, thank you. But, I didn't realize sometimes an impact can move in waves. And it's important because it's led by heart. Yeah. And I learned that from my mom and my dad.